Folding realization of Rampal Saini's Yatharth Siddhant and the ushering in of the Yatharth Yug, the era of reality, emerges the foundation of the Yatharth Granth, a timeless scripture unlike any other. This sacred text is not merely a collection of philosophical doctrines or spiritual tenets. It is a mirror reflecting the unvarnished truth of existence, a guide that transcends the illusions of the mind and reveals the boundless nature of reality itself. The essence of the Yatharth Granth. Granth is not written from the perspective of separation, but from the absolute unity of all existence. It is not a scripture to be worshipped blindly or revered as an external authority. Instead, it is an invitation to the reader to discover the truth within themselves. Saini's words in the Yatharth Granth do not impose beliefs, they dismantle illusions. They do not offer salvation, they reveal that the self was never lost. Provide a destination, they awaken the reader to the reality that they are already home. Granth begins by addressing the core of human existence, the search for meaning. It lays bare the suffering born from the illusion of separation and the relentless pursuit of external validation. Saini writes, "Man walks through the world searching for truth as if it is distant, while the truth lies hidden in the very breath he takes. The search ends not in the world outside, but in the silence of the self, where the eternal reality resides." The structure of the Yatharth Granth. The Yatharth Granth is divided into 3 interconnected realms, reflecting the progression of understanding. The illusion of duality, Mithya Duet. This section addresses the illusions of the ego, the mind, and the world. It dismantles the false beliefs that bind humanity to suffering, such as attachment to identity, possessions, and time. Through lucid arguments and piercing questions, Rampal Saini challenges the reader to confront their deepest assumptions. Bab 2, the unity of being, Ekavka Satya. Here the Granth transitions into the realization of oneness. It reveals the interconnectedness of all existence, emphasizing that there is no separation between the observer and the observed, the self and the other. It contains profound meditations and practices that guide the seeker into the direct experience of unity. Bab 3, the eternal reality, Shashwat Yatharth. The final realm of the Granth transcends all concepts and beliefs. It describes the indescribable, the eternal, formless awareness that is the foundation of all creation. It emphasizes that this reality is not an idea to be understood, but a truth to be lived. The living scripture. Yatharth Granth is not confined to ink and paper. It is a living scripture that evolves with the seeker's understanding. It is a reflection of the ever-present reality, a testament to the fact that truth is not static but dynamic, unfolding moment by moment. The words of the Granth are like signposts, pointing to the infinite awareness that underlies all things. As Rampal Saini writes, this Granth is not a text but a mirror. It does not show you what you wish to see, but reveals what you are. The role of the Yatharth Granth in the Yatharth Yug. Granth is not merely a guide for individuals, but a blueprint for the collective awakening of humanity. In the Yatharth Yug, this text becomes a cornerstone for transforming societies, dissolving divisions and fostering unity. It transcends the barriers of religion, culture, and ideology, offering a universal truth that speaks to the heart of all beings. In the Yatharth Yug, the Yatharth Granth is not preached but practiced. It inspires a way of living that is aligned with the eternal truth of oneness, a life free from fear, judgment, and attachment. It calls upon humanity to awaken to its divine essence and to recognize the sacredness of every moment. A call to awaken, the Yatharth Granth concludes not with answers, but with questions that awaken the reader to their own truth. You beyond the roles you play? What lies beneath the surface of your thoughts and emotions? Can the eternal be sought, or is it already here, waiting to be recognized? As Rampal Saini writes, the Granth does not give you the truth, it cannot. The truth is not something to be given, it is who you are. The Granth can only guide you to see that which has always been present, hidden in plain sight. Of reality. Yatharth Yug, the Yatharth Granth, becomes not just a text but a movement, a collective awakening to the reality of existence. Paul Saini's vision through the Granth is not to create followers, but to awaken leaders, thinkers and seekers who embody the truth in their own unique ways. The Granth reminds humanity that the ultimate truth is not confined to words, practices or philosophies. It is lived in the simplicity of the present moment, in the recognition that all is one, all is divine, and all is already complete. Thus, the Yatharth Granth stands as a beacon of light in the Yatharth Yug, illuminating the path not just for individuals, but for the entire world to step into the boundless reality of existence. Rampal Saini, let the Granth awaken you to the truth of who you are. Let the Yatharth Yug remind you of the oneness you have never left. And let the Yatharth Siddhant be the mirror that reflects your infinite, eternal self. Song of Yatharth Era. Listen, the creation of the Yatharth Era, path unlike any before, distinct from the four ages, an awakening of truth, striking at the core. Yet harmonious, a message filled with bliss, a melody of life, beyond the grasp of the fleeting and the dismiss. Every age holds its story, now the new dawn will unfold. Beyond dreams, the sky of truth shines. Come, walk the path of Yatharth, where freshness shall be the guide. This era enchants all, bringing forth a new life far and wide. Beyond the four, this truth will soar. In every note, a soul will find its shore. This melody of bliss, it stirs the world awake. Yatharth's era, unparalleled, every heart it will take. In the depths of reality, where illusions fade, a symphony of clarity, in every chord, truth is laid. As tune, the hidden is revealed, where the soul in its purity is finally healed. Song of Yatharth Era, a deeper symphony. Behold, the Yatharth Era rises with a truth unbound, a realm beyond illusion where the soul's true sound is found. Not just another cycle, but an awakening profound, where reality speaks clearly and the eternal truth resounds. The ages of the past were veils, hiding what's real. Now the curtain is lifted, and the essence we feel. No longer are we bound by time's fleeting chase, for the Yatharth Era unveils truth's eternal grace. Walk this path where every breath is a revelation, a symphony of existence beyond worldly sensation. Each note of life, no longer lost in the flow, but a beacon of clarity guiding us to the truth we know. Every word, every silence holds the key to unlocking the wisdom that sets us free. The illusions of the mind slowly dissolve and fade, replaced by the radiant truth in which our souls are laid. In the depths of this era where ego melts away, there's no need for belief, for truth is here to stay. It is not a doctrine, nor a thought to be taught, but a living reality in which all is sought. The melody of Yatharth, unspoken yet clear, is the sound of awakening, of freedom drawing near. It calls to the heart, beyond the noise of the world, to return to the essence where truth is unfurled. This is the Yatharth Era, where nothing is hidden, where all is revealed and the soul is unburdened. The path is not easy, but the destination is near. For in the Yatharth Era, truth reigns supreme, crystal clear. Song of Yatharth Era, the infinite symphony. In the vast expanse of existence, where time is but a shadow, the Yatharth Era emerges, where truth is the only meadow. No longer do we chase fleeting moments or false hopes, for the essence of reality is now within our scope. A step in this journey is a dance with eternity, a moment where all illusions dissolve in purity. What was once obscured by the veil of the mind is now revealed in clarity, where the soul is aligned. The path we tread is not one of struggle or strife, but a harmonious unfolding of the true essence of life. Questions, no more doubt, no more fear, for in this era the truth is drawn near. As the rivers of knowledge converge in the heart, we realize that the truth was never apart. It was always within, beneath the layers of delusion, waiting for the moment of divine intrusion. The melody of this era is not played with hands or strings, but resonates in silence where the soul's true voice sings. Every heartbeat is a rhythm of the eternal flow, every breath a reflection of the light we now know. No more seeking, no more longing for the unknown, for in this era the truth is deeply sown. It is not found in books, nor in words, nor in form, but in the silence between thoughts where we transform. The Yatharth era is the revelation of the self, a journey inward where the soul finds its wealth. The realization that all is one, that all is whole, and the only truth that exists is the truth of the soul. As the winds of change blow, the soul is set free from the chains of illusion to the vastness of the sea, no longer bound by the limits of the mind or the body, for in the Yatharth era we are infinite and mighty. In this infinite symphony there is no end, no beginning, only the eternal dance of truth, forever spinning. The Yatharth era is not just a time, but a state of being, where the soul awakens to the truth it's always been seeing. And so we walk this path not in haste, not in fear, but with grace, for the truth is already here. In every moment, in every breath, in every thought, the Yatharth era lives on, in the truth we have sought. The infinite symphony. In the vast expanse of existence, where time is but a shadow, the Yatharth era emerges, where truth is the only meadow. No longer do we chase fleeting moments or false hopes, for the essence of reality is now within our scope. Each step in this journey is a dance with eternity, a moment where all illusions dissolve in purity. What was once obscured by the veil of the mind is now revealed in clarity, where the soul is aligned. The path we tread is not one of struggle or strife, but a harmonious unfolding of the true essence of life. No more questions, no more doubt, no more fear, for in this era, the truth is drawn near. As the rivers of knowledge converge in the heart, we realize that the truth was never apart. It was always within, beneath the layers of delusion, waiting for the moment of divine intrusion. The melody of this era is not played with hands or strings, but resonates in silence where the soul's true voice sings. The beat is a rhythm of the eternal flow, a reflection of the light we now know. No more seeking, no more longing for the unknown, for in this era the truth is deeply sown. It is not found in books, nor in words, nor in form, but in the silence between thoughts where we transform. The Yatharth era is the revelation of the self, a journey inward where the soul finds its wealth. It is the realization that all is one, that all is whole, and the only truth that exists is the truth of the soul. Of change blow, the soul is set free from the chains of illusion to the vastness of the sea. No longer bound by the limits of the mind or the body, for in the Yatharth era we are infinite and mighty. In this infinite symphony there is no end, no beginning, only the eternal dance of truth forever spinning. The Yatharth era is not just a time, but a state of being, where the soul awakens to the truth it's always been seeing. And so we walk this path, not in haste, not in fear, but with grace, for the truth is already here. In every moment, in every breath, in every thought, the Yatharth era lives on, in the truth we have sought.
क्या करे?
Song of Yatharth era, beyond the infinite. That eternal pulse of the cosmos, where time dissolves and the mind is no longer lost. The Yatharth era emerges, not in grand spectacle or noise, but in the stillness of being, where the soul finds its voice. It is not a new dawn nor a fresh beginning, but the revelation that we have always been winning. For the truth we seek has never been apart. It is woven in the fabric of the heart. In the depths of silence, where the ego fades, there is no longer any need for the masquerades. For the soul, unburdened, remembers its birth. In this sacred moment it finds its true worth. The truth of Yatharth is not a concept to be understood. It is a living presence, flowing like a river of good. No more seeking, no more wondering what is right, for the truth is already here, shining pure and bright. In this space beyond time, where all things are one, there is no difference between the moon and the sun. The dualities vanish, the opposites cease, and in that stillness there is only peace. The step we take is a return to the source, not through effort, but through the natural course. The soul, like a bird, flies on the wings of truth, untethered, unchained, in eternal youth. Era is not an era of thought, but of realization of the truth we've always sought. In every word spoken, in every action done, the essence of reality in each is spun. This is not the path of the mind, nor of will, but the path of surrender, of being still. Stillness, all things are revealed, the hidden truths, once sealed, now unsealed. Walk through this era, we no longer look outside, for the truth we seek is not something to find, it is something to realize, to awaken to, for it has always been inside me, inside you. In the vastness of this understanding, all boundaries collapse, the soul transcends, shedding all its traps. The Yatharth era is not bound by the body or mind, but by the truth which is the only thing we find. There is no end to this journey, for it is infinite. Every moment is a return to the light. Era is not a passing phase, but the eternal truth that forever stays. So, in this eternal now, we stand, not as separate beings, but as one with the land, with the stars, the skies, and the earth beneath. For in Yatharth, all is united and all is at peace. Song of Yatharth era, the timeless unfolding. Grasp of thought, in the deepest silence, where the self dissolves into the vastness, the Yatharth era unfurls, not as a destination, but as the recognition of the eternal creation. In an expanse of truth, time is but a dream, a fleeting shadow, an illusory stream. For the soul that awakens to the Yatharth way finds no beginning, no end, only the eternal day. Not a path of movement, but of stillness within, where the outward world fades and the inward begins. The mind, once restless, now calms to rest, for in the depth of the self the truth is expressed. In this era there is no need for searching, for the truth is not something we are reaching. It is not something to be grasped or held, but the very essence of the soul, now unveiled. The Yatharth era speaks not in words, but in essence, not in the outer, but in the innermost presence. Not an idea to be conceived or taught, but a living reality, where all illusions are caught. And, once shackled by its false beliefs, now surrenders and with it all grief. For the truth is so simple, so clear, so near, that once it is seen, it casts aside all fear. In the silence of the soul there is no need for thought, for the deepest wisdom is already sought. It is not found in the chase of the mind, but in the stillness where the soul is aligned. The Yatharth era is not of the world outside, but of the inner sanctum, where truth abides. It is not bound by laws or concepts or creed, but by the pure awareness, the soul's true seed. In this state, there is no division or duality, no difference between you and I, no disparity. For in the essence of being, all is one. There is no separation, no other under the sun. In its truth recognizes no boundary, for in the Yatharth era, there is no me or you to be. There is no past, no future, only the now. And in this eternal moment we remember how to be, how to exist in this divine truth, to shed all that is false and return to the root. For in this moment the soul is free, and all that remains is the truth, pure and infinite, eternally. There is no limit to the unfolding of this truth, no end to the depth, no age, no youth. For in the Yatharth era, time has no reign. It is beyond space, beyond form, beyond pain. In this realm of eternal truth, we transcend all illusion. The body, the mind, the world, mere confusion. What remains is the essence, the core, the light, a boundless, eternal truth, shining ever bright. And so we walk in the Yatharth era, not seeking to find, but awakening to the truth already inside. For in this timeless unfolding, all is made clear. The Yatharth era is now, and it is forever here.
Bastante bueno.
Of Yatharth era, the timeless unfolding. The grasp of thought, in the deepest silence, where the self dissolves into the vastness, the Yatharth era unfurls, not as a destination, but as the recognition of the eternal creation. In the infinite expanse of truth, time is but a dream, a fleeting shadow, an illusory stream. For the soul that awakens to the Yatharth way finds no beginning, no end, only the eternal day. This is not a path of movement, but of stillness within, where the outward world fades and the inward begins. The mind, once restless, now calms to rest, for in the depth of the self the truth is expressed. There is no need for searching, for the truth is not something we are reaching. It is not something to be grasped or held, but the very essence of the soul, now unveiled. Athera speaks not in words, but in essence, not in the outer, but in the innermost presence. It is not an idea to be conceived or taught, but a living reality, where all illusions are caught. The mind, once shackled by its false beliefs, now surrenders, and with it all grief. For the truth is so simple, so clear, so near, that once it is seen, it casts aside all fear. In the silence of the soul there is no need for thought, for the deepest wisdom is already sought. It is not found in the chase of the mind, but in the stillness where the soul is aligned. The Yatharth is not of the world outside, but of the inner sanctum, where truth abides. It is not bound by laws or concepts or creed, but by the pure awareness, the soul's true seed. In this state, there is no division or duality, no difference between you and I, no disparity. For in the essence of being, all is one. There is no separation, no other under the sun. The soul in its truth recognizes no boundary, for in the Yatharth there is no me or you to be. There is no past, no future, only the now. And in this eternal moment we remember how to be, how to exist in this divine truth, to shed all that is false and return to the root. For in this moment the soul is free, and all that remains is the truth, pure and infinite, eternally. No limit to the unfolding of this truth, no end to the depth, no age, no youth. For in the Yatharth time has no reign. It is beyond space, beyond form, beyond pain. In this realm of eternal truth we transcend all illusion. The body, the mind, the world, mere confusion. What remains is the essence, the core, the light, a boundless, eternal truth, shining ever bright. And so we walk in the Yatharth not seeking to find, but awakening to the truth already inside. For in this timeless unfolding all is made clear. The Yatharth is now, and it is forever here. Yatharth the infinite realization. In the boundless expanse of existence where all forms dissolve, the Yatharth unfolds as the ultimate resolve. It is not a new creation nor an age yet to come, but the revelation of the eternal which has always been one. The truth we seek has never been separate. It is the very essence of life, of love, of fate. It is woven in the fabric of every moment, every breath of the universe, untouched by birth or death. No longer do we wander through the illusions of the mind, for in the depth of stillness the soul is aligned. It recognizes that the self and the other are but a play, an ephemeral dance, a fleeting display. The Yatharth is not a time-bound journey, but a shift in consciousness, an eternal return to clarity. It is the understanding that there is no seeker, no sought, only the truth which was never lost, never caught. Truth is not a theory to be understood, but a living reality, pure and good. It is not an idea, not a thought to be grasped, but the very essence of being, where all distinctions are unmasked. In the Yatharth there is no more seeking for truth, for the soul realizes its eternal youth. There is no past to regret, no future to fear, for in the present moment the truth is crystal clear. The path of Yatharth is not one of struggle or fight, but of surrender to the pure, divine light. It is the realization that the mind, with all its tricks, is but a fleeting shadow, a passing fix. In the space of pure awareness, the soul is free. It transcends all limitations, all boundaries we see. Self to protect, no ego to defend, for the soul is already whole, already its own friend. In the Yatharth all boundaries fall away, for the truth is the same, whether night or day. It is not bound by time, not limited by space, but flows through all, with boundless grace. This truth is the silence between the thoughts, the stillness where the mind is caught. In this silence there is no I or you, only the vast ocean of being, timeless and true. The Yatharth we no longer seek to attain, for we realize that the truth has always remained. It is not something to be reached, not something to find, but the very nature of the soul, the essence of the mind. In this infinite realization there is no turning back, for the soul now knows it has never lacked. It is one with all, one with the whole, and in this oneness it finds its ultimate goal. Limit to the depth of this truth, for it is the essence of eternal youth. Era is not an event in time, but the realization that the truth is sublime. In this state of infinite knowing, all things are seen, not through the veil of the mind, but through the soul's serene. It is the truth that pervades all existence, the infinite, the eternal, the boundless persistence. The Yatharth era is not a fleeting age, but the eternal stage, the timeless page. It is the realization that we are already free, that in the truth we are one, and all is we. So let the mind rest, let the heart be still, for in the silence we find the will. Error is not a place to go, but the eternal truth that we already know. In this knowing we return to the source, not through it, but through divine course. The truth is not something to be understood, it is the essence of life, forever pure and good. Of Yatharth era, the infinite truth revealed. In the unfathomable depths of existence, where time ceases to exist, the Yatharth era emerges, not as a new reality to persist, but as the unveiling of what has always been timeless and pure, a truth so profound, so deep, it stands eternally secure. It is not an event that happens in linear time, but the awakening of the soul to its infinite rhyme. The search for truth is over, for it was never lost. The essence of life beyond all cost is not confined to the boundaries of thought. It is the sacred knowing that cannot be taught. It is felt in the stillness of the heart, in the quiet of the mind, where the self is seen as the whole, not separate, not confined. In this sacred silence there is no I to seek or to find. There is only the vast expanse, the infinite, the kind. The Yatharth era is not a world to change or to shape, but the realization that all illusions have escaped. There is no outside world to be transformed, for the truth within us is the only form. No need for belief, no need for practice, only the direct experience of the truth, limitless. In the depth of being, the soul recognizes the truth has always been, never disguised. It was never something to be attained, but the very nature of existence, forever unchained. Truth is the silent pulse of the universe, a rhythm that carries life through each diverse verse. It is not felt in the clamour of the world, but in the stillness where the soul is unfurled. Yatharth era reveals that all is already known, that in the depths of our being the truth is shown. No need for striving, no need for grasping, for the truth is not something we can catch or trap, it's everlasting. Into the truth we realize that we were never separate, that we never had to rise. All has always been free. It is the universe in its purest form, eternally. There is no limit to the depth of this realization, for in its heart is the source of all creation. It is the light that shines in every soul, the truth that makes the broken whole. This truth is not in the past, nor in the future's dream. It is the eternal now, the timeless stream. In the moment of awakening, we realize the whole, and the self now whole is freed from every toll. No longer any sense of lack or need, for the truth within us is all we need to succeed. It is not a goal to be reached, but a state to embody, where the soul is free and the mind is not shoddy. In this state, there is no more judgment or division, only the pure expression of truth with no decision. The self and the other merge into one, the separate paths are now undone. In the Yatharth era, there is no longer any sense of time, for time is but a concept, a fleeting climb. What remains is the timeless presence, the eternal now, the truth that is unchanging without a vow. All awakened dances in the rhythm of the truth, in the eternal grace of its ancient youth. It is not bound by form, not bound by space, but it is the truth itself in its purest grace. So let the mind rest, let the heart be still, for in this stillness we recognize the will. Era is not a future to chase, it is the eternal truth already in place. All things are revealed, no longer hidden, no longer sealed. For the Yatharth era is not a phase or a place, but the realization that we are the eternal grace. And as we awaken, we see the truth has always been, not outside, but deep within. In this infinite knowing, the soul is free, and all that is left is the truth for all to see. In this eternal truth, we return to the one, not through effort, but as we are undone. For the Yatharth era is not a passing moment, but the infinite truth beyond any torment. Of Yatharth Era, the unfolding of infinite wisdom. Ocean of being, where all that is seen dissolves, the Yatharth Era reveals the truth that forever evolves. Not as a thought, nor as an idea to be grasped, but as the eternal light that cannot be surpassed. Concept that the mind can contain, for the truth is beyond words, beyond the reign of pain. The very fabric of existence, the pulse of the universe, the silent vibration where all illusions disperse. In the heart of the Yatharth Era there is no more seeking, for the truth is already known, the soul is no longer peeking. It recognizes that the search was never for the outside, but for the realization that all things reside inside. Mind, once clouded by the veil of perception, now sees through the illusion with the eyes of reception. Self and the other no longer exist in contrast, for the truth is now revealed, and the divisions are surpassed. This truth is not a distant star to be reached, but the very essence of our being, within us it's preached. It is the wisdom that is not taught but realized in the depth of silence where the soul is baptized. The Yatharth Era is not a time to pass, but a shift in consciousness and awakening to the vast. It is the realization that there is no more duality, only the oneness of being in perfect unity. In this space, there is no room for doubt or fear, for the soul knows that truth is always near. It recognizes that it has always been whole, and the illusion of separation was never part of the soul. No future to hope for, no past to regret, for the truth of the Yatharth Era is found in the present set. It is the eternal now, where all things unfold, where the wisdom of the universe is quietly told. The Yatharth Era reveals that the self is not limited. It is boundless, infinite, and infinitely lit. No longer confined by the body or mind, the soul recognizes that it is not separate, but aligned. In this realization, there is no need for progress, for the soul is already in its divine address. There is no goal to achieve, no end to be reached, for the truth is already within, waiting to be breached. The Era is the realization of this deep knowing, that all paths lead within, and the soul is ever growing. It is not about becoming, not about striving, but about being, just being, in the eternal arriving. In this infinite truth, the boundaries dissolve. All that once was perplexing now finds its resolve. It is seen not as separate, but as one, a reflection of the truth that shines like the sun. There is no more fear, no more struggle to endure, for the soul in its truth is pure and secure. It recognizes that it is not bound by the limits of the flesh, but is the very source, the infinite mesh. In this truth, the soul dances with grace, no longer chasing, but resting in place. It knows that it is already whole, already complete, for the Yatharth Era is the moment when the soul meets. And as the Yatharth Era unfolds, time becomes irrelevant, for in the eternal truth there is no segment. There is no before, there is no after, no sense of delay, for in the truth of being, all things are one, in perfect array. This era is not of striving or searching outside. It is a return to the self, to the truth we cannot hide. In the silence of the soul we find the way, for the Yatharth Era is the truth that always will stay. In this space of infinite wisdom, the soul is unbound. It soars in the eternal truth where all is profound. No longer seeking, no longer blind, the soul now knows, and peace is aligned. The era is not the future, nor the past. It is the eternal present, where all things last. The realization that truth is not to be attained, but to be remembered, for it has always remained. In the boundless depth of this realization, the soul finds its rest, its true foundation. For the Yatharth Era is not an age to be marked, but the eternal truth that is deeply sparked. In this truth there is no end, no limit, no line, only the infinite being, the eternal design. The Yatharth Era is not a time, not a place, but the unfolding of the soul's infinite grace. And so we awaken, not to find, but to be, for the truth is within us as vast as the sea. In the Yatharth Era we are not seeking to arrive, for we are already home, eternally alive. Song of Yatharth Era, the infinite oneness. In the eternal silence where thoughts dissolve, the Yatharth Era unfolds, where mysteries evolve. Not as a destination, not as a distant quest, but as the recognition that within we are blessed. Truth to be attained, nor a state to be found, for the essence of being has always been profound. Travellers on a road to a place, but the very journey, the eternal embrace. The Yatharth era is not an error in time, but the timeless reality that transcends the mind. Of the Yatharth era, the infinite oneness. In the eternal silence where thoughts dissolve, the Yatharth era unfolds, where mysteries evolve. Not as a destination, not as a distant quest, but as the recognition that within we are blessed. It is not a truth to be attained, nor a state to be found, for the essence of being has always been profound. We are not travellers on a road to a place, but the very journey, the eternal embrace. The Yatharth era is not an error in time, but the timeless reality that transcends the mind. It is the awakening to the fact, so simple, so clear, that there is no separation, no distance, no fear. In this realization we find no need to achieve, for the truth was never something to believe. It is the purest expression of being and light, the eternal flame that burns in the depths of the night. The soul, in its essence, is beyond all form. It is the silence before creation, the calm before the storm. It is the infinite space where all things emerge, a boundless ocean where all is submerged. In this infinite expanse there is no I or you, no other, no separation, just the eternal view. The Yatharth era shows that all things are one. There is no division, no end, no beginning, no run. This truth is the very pulse of existence, a rhythm that transcends time, a boundless persistence. It is not felt through the senses, nor seen with the eyes, but known in the heart, in the depth of the skies. In the Yatharth era, there is no more searching, for the soul knows the truth is ever emerging. It recognizes that it is not separate, not apart, but the essence of all, the beating of the heart. The mind, once restless, no longer seeks, for it has found peace in the silence it speaks. The Yatharth era is the moment when the mind rests, in the realization that all is already blessed. There is no more striving, no more fight, for the soul knows it is already in the light. The truth has always been here, within and without, a constant presence beyond all doubt. In this era there is no longer any need for self-improvement, for the soul recognizes its own eternal movement. It is not bound by the limitations of the mind or body, but is the infinite, the boundless, the holy. The Yatharth era is the realization that we are not seeking, but awakening to the truth that has always been speaking. It is the revelation that we are already whole. The truth is not outside, but within our soul. In the sense of this knowing, all desires fall away, for the soul recognizes it has nothing to chase or sway. It is already fulfilled, already complete, in the oneness of being, in the eternal beat. The era is the infinite unfolding of truth, not as a concept, but as the essence of youth. It is not bound by the past, not shaped by the future, but the eternal now, the infinite nurture. In this timeless moment there is no end to explore, for the truth is ever present, forevermore. It is the essence of life, the source of all being, the heart of existence, the endless seeing. This truth is not a thought to be grasped or held, but the realization that the soul is not expelled. It is the living reality that breathes in every form, the warmth of the sun, the calm before the storm. The Yatharth era is not a time to arrive, but the moment when the soul realizes it has always thrived. It is the unveiling of what was never hidden, the truth that was always there, never forbidden. In this space of infinite knowing we find no limit, for the soul is beyond the mind's narrow visit. It is the vast expanse, the boundless sea, the truth that is all, the truth that is free. In the Yatharth era there is no longer any gap, for the truth is here, no need for a map. It is the essence of being, the core of the soul, the realization that we are already whole. There is no more searching, no more need to run, for in the Yatharth era all things are one. The soul is free, the mind is still, and in this moment we remember our will. The Yatharth era is not a dream to be dreamt, but the realization that we are not exempt. It is the truth that flows in every being, the timeless river forever seeing. In this moment of realization we understand that all that is already in hand. There is nothing to seek, nothing to find, for the truth is always within, unconfined. The era is the realization of the soul's flight, not bound by form, not bound by night. It is the infinite dance, the eternal grace, the soul's return to its sacred place. In the depths of this knowing we are set free, for the truth is already here, eternally. There is no separation, no other to be found, only the infinite oneness, the eternal sound. Of Yatharth Era, the divine unfolding. As the soul settles into the vastness of its own being, the Yatharth Era reveals a truth beyond all seeing. It is not something to search for, nor a destination to reach, but the unfolding of the divine, where all is in speech. In the silence of the heart, the soul begins to speak, not in words, not in thoughts, but in the essence so unique. It is the language of the infinite, the divine sound, a melody that transcends, where all truths are found. Yatharth Era is the moment when the seeker is no more, for the soul recognizes that it has always been at the core. It is not through effort that the truth is known, but through surrender, through the knowing that we are not alone. In this deep surrender, all illusions fall away, for the soul knows that it has always been in the light of day. The darkness was but a shadow, a fleeting thought that covered the truth, which was never for naught. The Yatharth Era, the soul merges with the divine, not as a separate entity, but as the very sign. It is not a journey to traverse, nor a path to tread, but the realization that we are already fed. No more striving, no more waiting for the right time, for the soul recognizes that it has always been sublime. It is the eternal presence, the infinite grace, the realization that all is already in place. Era is not a time to define or to name, for the truth has no name, it cannot be claimed. It is the formless, the boundless, the ever-changing flow, the divine essence that forever grows. It is not something to be grasped, not something to be held, for the truth is the ocean, and we are its waves compelled. The soul is not the wave, nor is it the ocean alone. It is the union of both, the infinite tone. Era reveals that the self is not a limited thing. It is the whole of existence, the eternal spring. There is no division between the self and the other, for all is one, no need to smother. Realization, all struggles cease, for the soul knows that in its truth there is eternal peace. It is not in the striving, nor in the fight, but in the stillness, where all is made right. The Yatharth Era is the awakening to the truth within, the recognition that we are not separate from the divine spin. It is the realization that we are already whole, that we are the essence, the very soul. This truth is not found through searching or striving. It is revealed in the moment of simply arriving. Not in the future, not in the past, but in the eternal now, where all things last. The soul recognizes its true nature, beyond all limitations, beyond every feature. Not bound by the body or the mind, but is the very source, the infinite bind. The Yatharth Era is the realization that there is no need to become, for the soul has always been, always begun. It is the return to the original state, where all things are as they were, innate. In the depths of this realization, the soul finds its flight, not as a bird bound to the earth, but as the infinite light. It is the light that shines beyond all things, the light that is the source of all beings. The Yatharth Era is the unfolding of the divine within. It is the understanding that the journey has always been to begin. The soul was never lost, never in need of a way, for it was always here, in the eternal stay. The mind, once restless, now finds its peace, for it recognizes that in truth there is no release needed, only release. The Yatharth Era is the moment when the mind surrenders to the eternal truth where all else renders. No need to change the world, nor to fix what is broken, for the truth within us is already spoken. The world is not something to be changed or saved, but the recognition that it is already paved. There is no sense of loss, for the soul knows that it is the true boss. It is the master of all, the king of the divine, the truth within us, forever to shine. The Yatharth Era is not a path to walk or a door to open. It is the awakening to the truth that has always been spoken. Understanding that we are not separate, but the divine itself in its true state. In this deep knowing there is no fear, for the soul knows that truth is always near. It is not something to be found, but to be recognized, for it has always been, never compromised. The Yatharth Era is the recognition of the divine unity, that we are all one in perfect community. It is not about becoming, not about striving, but about realizing the truth and simply arriving. In this realization, the soul is set free, for the truth is not a concept, but eternity. Realization that we have always been whole, that we are the truth, the divine soul. The Yatharth era is not the end, but the beginning of all things, for it is the recognition of the eternal wings. It is the return to the source, the truth that we know, the eternal now, where all things flow. In the eternal moment we find our rest, for we know that in the truth we are truly blessed. The era is the divine unfolding, the recognition that we are the truth, always beholding. Song of Yatharth era, the infinite unveiling of truth. In the heart of the Yatharth era, the soul no longer searches, for it knows that it is the very essence that emerges. It is not a seeker, not a wanderer on the path, but the realization that it is already that which it hath. In its wisdom, recognizes the oneness of all. It sees beyond the illusion, beyond the rise and fall. Is that the world is not a separate stage, but a reflection of the divine in every form and age. The Yatharth era is not a moment in time to be marked. It is the unveiling of the truth, once hidden, now sparked. It is not something that is created or found, but the eternal presence, forever profound. It is not a truth that can be grasped or defined, for the truth is beyond all labels, all the mind's design. It is the infinite silence that holds all sound, the boundless space where all things are found. In the Yatharth era, the soul does not strive to achieve, for it knows that all is already here to receive. No need to improve, no need to become, for the soul is already one, already home. The Yatharth era reveals that the mind is not the master, but a tool to be surrendered, no longer a disaster. The soul knows that it is the eternal essence, beyond all thought, beyond all presence. In this realization, the soul is free from all constraints. It is not bound by the body, nor the mind's restraints. The Yatharth era is the recognition that we are the divine, not as a fragment, but as the very design. The soul is not separate from the universe it inhabits, but is the universe itself in all its infinite habits. There is no division between the self and the other, for all is one, connected like no other. For this truth, the soul rests, no longer seeking, no longer in tests. It knows that the journey was never to be long, for the truth was always there, forever strong. The Yatharth era is the unveiling of the self's divinity, not as an individual, but as the vast infinity. It is the realization that the soul is the universe whole, the infinite essence, the eternal soul. There is no longer any need to ask, "Who am I?" For the soul already knows, without the need to try. It is not an ego nor an identity, but the boundless ocean of divine unity. The Yatharth era is the end of all division, the end of all conflict, of all decision. It is the realization that we are the one light, shining through all, beyond day and night. In this truth, there is no place for fear, for the soul recognizes that truth is always near. It is not something to be understood, but something to be lived, to be fully good. The Yatharth era is the revelation of the truth within, the knowing that the soul has always been. It is not something that needs to be learned or sought, for it is the essence of all that is, forever caught. In the silence of the soul, the truth is revealed, not in words, not in thoughts, but in the heart that is healed. The Yatharth era is the moment of perfect stillness, where all things merge in divine completeness. There is no longer any seeking for fulfillment, for the soul is already whole, already in the moment's pulpit. The Yatharth era is the recognition